Now that Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois are all warmed up to see each other in the ring on the coming 21st, where Daniel Dubois currently holds a professional boxing record of 21 wins and 2 losses, with 20 of those wins coming by way of knockout. He competes in the heavyweight division and stands at 6'5" tall. Both of the fighters have reportedly sparred, and it didn't end well for Joshua. Eddie Hearn addressed rumors that Joshua was challenged by a hit from Dubois during the sparring, which left him momentarily overwhelmed but conscious. Hearn emphasized that, contrary to the dramatic accounts, the sparring continued, which tells a lot about the new era of boxing.
What everyone was telling everyone was that AJ got carried out of the ring unconscious. That's changed quite a lot. So he got buzzed by a shot, was out on his feet. But by the way, they carried on sparring. You do know that people like Rob McCracken and those experienced guys, if you get hurt in sparring, the sparring stops.
Eddie Hearn anticipated it to be a fiercely contested match. He clarified that the fight is not expected to be straightforward or easy, underscoring the readiness and resolve within Joshua's camp to face a formidable opponent like Dubois.
I'm not trying to make a case for this to be an easy fight. I'm telling you, this is a f***ing war. This is a tough fight.
He pointed out Dubois' prime physical condition and his powerful punching ability, which make him a significant threat in the ring. This reflection on Dubois' attributes serves as a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of boxing, where anything can happen, and the best prepared fighter is often the victor.
We want that fight. AJ's up for this war next week, and he knows in his head this is going to be a tough fight. It might not be, but there's every chance it could be. And he's prepared for that because Dubois, young, plenty of spirit now. He's fit, he's in his absolute prime. He can punch, he's a handful.
Coming into the fight, Johnny Nelson has heavily criticized Daniel for not being of Anthony's caliber.
I have not seen him being capable of being able to think in the ring. My reading has not changed at all. I think Daniel Dubois is where Anthony Joshua was.
Former Cruiserweight World Champion Johnny Nelson talked about how the fight is not about Anthony because he is going to do this thing and win. He made the fight dependent on Dubois, and he expressed his confidence that as long as Joshua remained focused and dedicated, he would be able to achieve his goals effectively.
The questions aren't about Anthony Joshua. As long as he keeps his professionalism, gets the job done, he should get the job done.
Johnny Nelson pointed out the uncertainty about where Dubois stands and the strategies he might employ in his upcoming matches. He praised Dubois' trainer Don Charles, acknowledging his significant yet often overlooked contributions to Dubois' training and success in the ring.
The questions are about Daniel Dubois. Where is Daniel Dubois at? What kind of tactics will Daniel Dubois choose? Daniel Dubois has an excellent trainer and coach in Don Charles, rate him massively. Don is so underrated, it's untrue.
Johnny Nelson further elaborated that unexpected events in the ring, like getting hit or hurt, require a fighter to assess and decide on the best action for him swiftly.
But if you can think in the ring, what happens then is if you get hit and get hurt or something unpredicted happens in the ring, you've got to be able to think about how to deal with it. And at times I've criticised him. I thought, the kid's got no heart, he doesn't want it enough. He just had to grow up in public, that's all he's had to do. So the questions are all for Daniel.
Don Charles, a respected trainer, weighed in on the uncertainty surrounding which version of Anthony Joshua will show up on fight night. As a key figure in preparing for big fights, Charles's insight offers a realistic approach to the unknowns.
We've prepared for the best AJ, any AJ that turns up, we've prepared for. You have to. With regards to, is it the new AJ, the old AJ, that's not really our concern. That's nobody will ever know till that bell rings on the 21st. When that first bell rings, even AJ himself, am I back? Like everybody's telling me I'm back.
Charles emphasizes that their camp is prepared for the best version of Joshua, whether it's the AJ of old or a new, more refined version. He acknowledges that even Joshua won't truly know if he's back until the first bell rings on fight night, adding an air of suspense to the upcoming clash. Promoter Eddie Hearn, known for his deep involvement in the biggest boxing events, shared his excitement for the Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois showdown. Hearn highlighted the magnitude of this event, tying it to the broader Riyadh season and its impact on the sport.
Great fight, huge event. When His Excellency said Riyadh season was coming to London, I didn't say I didn't believe him, but I didn't really get the mindset behind it. And what he's built is just an incredible night. Huge main event, huge undercard, and massive night for AJ, chance to become a 3-division world champion. Yeah, I think it's probably a really bad time to fight AJ, and it's probably a bad time to fight Daniel Dubois. I think they're both in tremendous form, coming off great wins, looking really sharp. AJ's definitely the best I've ever seen him, and you know, I think that it's a chance for him to really make a statement out there, become a 3-time world champion. We all know what we want, and that's the undisputed championship, and he's probably one fight away from that.
Hearn believes both fighters are in peak form, making this clash even more intriguing. He sees this as a critical moment for Joshua, who has the opportunity to become a 3-time world champion. With the undisputed championship within reach, Hearn emphasizes that this fight could be AJ's chance to make a major statement on the global stage. Legendary promoter Frank Warren shared his thoughts on the upcoming Joshua versus Dubois fight, focusing on the psychological and physical challenges both fighters will face in the ring. Warren's experience adds another layer of depth to the pre-fight narrative.
The case, I mean, look, you know, you've got two fighters there, and as I said, for me, it's all about heart and mind. Who's got the mindset to stick to his game plan, and who's got the heart when they get clips, because someone's going to get clipped. I don't mean getting knocked out. I mean when they get the first hurtful punch, to be able to carry on with a game plan, because whoever goes on the back foot, they get hurt and go on the back foot, they're going to be in trouble.
Warren stresses that the fight will come down to heart and mindset. He believes the real test will be how each fighter reacts after getting hurt by the first big punch. According to Warren, whoever abandons their game plan and steps back after being clipped will find themselves in serious trouble. Fraser Clark, a fellow heavyweight and close observer of both fighters, gave his candid assessment of the upcoming Joshua versus Dubois clash. Clark's perspective offers valuable insight, having shared the ring with some of the best in the division.
It's a difficult fight, you know. Daniel's young, he's hungry, he's obviously confident now. I still have AJ winning that fight. I just feel like if Daniel gets hit half as much as he did against AJ as he did Ergovic, it's a different fight. It's different power. You just look at the men and just look at the way they've both performed in their careers. You don't get hit with 30 backhands off AJ and live to tell the tale. Do you know what I mean? You're asleep on the floor. It's that simple. But nevertheless, the defense tightens up a little bit. He's confident, he's strong, he's fit. And I think the thing with Daniel, he's one of them fighters as well, like, I think he thrives under a bit of pressure, you know. I think if people are expected to lose, if you find another gear in yourself, you know, I'm going to f people up here, whether you want to say that or not, but that's what it is. I know more than anyone, trust me, you find a reason to be better than you've ever been, and Andy Joshua at Wembley.
Clark favors Joshua, pointing out that if Dubois takes the kind of shots he did in his previous fights, it could spell disaster against AJ's power. However, he also notes that Dubois thrives under pressure and could rise to the occasion with his confidence and physicality. Clark underscores the magnitude of this fight, especially with Joshua headlining at Wembley. Promoter Kalle Sauerland shared his thoughts on Anthony Joshua's recent development under trainer Ben Davison, while also acknowledging the contributions of Joshua's previous trainers. Sauerland believes that AJ has found a new level in his career.
I just feel that Anthony has come of age somehow under Ben, but give maximum credit as well to McCracken and the other trainers he's worked with. It just seems to, like, he's pulled stuff together. He's got that bit of spite, you know. He's just come on now, and he just feel that AJ is very hot right now. So it's, you know, it's an interesting fight, but I've AJ just being the man of the moment right now.
Sauerland feels that Joshua has truly come into his own, pulling together the lessons from his past and showcasing a new level of maturity. With AJ looking sharp and being the man of the moment, Sauerland sees this as a pivotal time for Joshua heading into this intriguing fight. Renowned trainer Jamie Moore shared his perspective on Daniel Dubois's progress and how timing could be a crucial factor in this matchup. Moore has seen the evolution of fighters over time, making his prediction all the more compelling.
Yeah, I think Dubois really come on, and I think, you know, in another year, 18 months' time, it'll be a different kettle of fish, but I think he's getting AJ at his prime. I think AJ is probably in the best form of his career, and I've got a feeling AJ might get him in 4 to 5 rounds, you know, because if Dubois gets hit as cleanly this time as he did last time, then against someone like AJ, you're in trouble.
Moore believes Dubois has made significant strides, but feels that Joshua's current form is too much for him at this stage. He predicts an early finish, suggesting that if Dubois takes clean shots like in his previous fights, he won't be able to withstand AJ's power. This sets the tone for a potential early knockout victory for Joshua. Jamie Moore continued his breakdown of Dubois' growth, emphasizing the valuable lessons learned from his past losses. With his experience as a trainer, Moore recognizes Dubois' improvement, but also the difficult timing of this fight.
Great fight. I spoke about this the other day with somebody else. It was like Dubois has surprised me recently. I think he's still young, and the losses, like I was just saying earlier on, have definitely been lessons for him, because he seems like, you know, I've heard a lot of people talking over the years saying, you know, you can't teach toughness and stuff like that. You can learn to be tougher, or you can learn to adapt and get a bit braver and stuff like that. And that's what it seems like to me, is he's learned from those losses and he's come back. He's getting, you know, he's maturing, he's getting a bit older, he's getting experience under his belt. The only problem for me with that fight is AJ's probably the best form of his career, and you know, he did get hit quite a bit in his last fight early on, Dubois, but weathered the storm, come through it, and then you know, toughed it out. He'll struggle weathering a storm like that against someone who punches like AJ. So I do think Dubois is massively improved, and he's really surprised me recently. But I just think he's getting AJ at the wrong time.
Moore acknowledges Dubois' maturation and toughness, noting how he has bounced back stronger from setbacks. However, he believes that facing Joshua right now, who's in peak form, might be coming too soon for Dubois. While Dubois has surprised many with his progress, Moore predicts it will be hard to weather AJ's power at this point in his career. Trainer Billy Nelson kept his prediction simple and to the point when discussing the upcoming Joshua versus Dubois fight. Nelson's straightforward approach reflects his confidence in the outcome.
Anthony Joshua will beat him because he's a better fighter.
And you think he'll stop him?
Probably.
Nelson believes Joshua will win because he's simply the better fighter. He predicts that AJ will likely stop Dubois, keeping his analysis concise but clear on who he thinks will come out on top. Jarrell Miller, known for his outspoken personality, shared a surprisingly supportive view on Daniel Dubois ahead of the fight. Despite their past clash, Miller expressed admiration for Dubois and his team.
I'm rooting for Dubois in this fight. You know, even though I lost the fight against him, it wasn't my best performance. I wasn't in my best shape. But he's a good kid, man. Dubois is a good guy, man. I mean, outside of boxing, I got love for him and his team. And I'm rooting for the kid, man. He wins, make me look better. And then we get a world champion, I get my rematch with him. So, you know, I'm not the kind of guy that hate behind closed doors. Like the guys you see in boxing, they hate, they talk shit. I'm the realest guy in one of the most realest guys in boxing, and the realest guy in the heavyweight division. I don't talk shit because I talk shit. I talk shit because I believe in it. You know what I mean? And I'm a fan of Dubois. I hope he can pull it off.
Daniel Dubois' power is something to behold of, and despite Anthony Joshua facing him just a few days from now, it's not the first time he had tasted Daniel's power.
There was a lot of rumours when they sparred all those years ago that Dubois dropped AJ. Does that play a factor at all? I know what your thoughts were on that.
Fight's on.
After turning over as a professional in 2017, rumors began to swirl around boxing circles that Dubois had either dropped or knocked out Joshua in sparring when he was a sprightly 18-year-old. The spar took place in 2016, the same year that Joshua dethroned Charles Martin to become IBF heavyweight champion, while Dubois was a novice amateur at the time. His promoter Frank Warren proudly told the press a year later that his new signing had sent Joshua tumbling to the canvas when they shared the ring together at the GB Performance Institute in Sheffield. Ahead of their September 21st showdown at Wembley Stadium, the sparring stories have become a major talking point once again. Dubois has remained coy on the topic, while Joshua insists there is no substance to the rumors. However, Anthony Fowler, who was on the Team GB squad at the time and witnessed the spar unfold in front of his eyes, claims Dubois had Joshua on unsteady legs and could have knocked him out. He said, "They were just sparring normally. Dubois was really young, so he wasn't really trying to win the rounds. I wouldn't say he was in survival mode, but he wouldn't take many risks. He was very cagey sparring Joshua. Obviously, Joshua was the main man on the team, so he was always quite wary, but he always punched really hard. I remember he hit Fraser Clark so hard that he snapped his ankle." Fowler told that Joshua must have underestimated Daniel's power. He further added, "Joshua must have been a little clumsy sparring him, and he got caught with a short left hook and Joshua's legs completely went. Dubois could have hit him again and put him to sleep, but Dubois had a bit too much respect for him to finish him off. Obviously, everyone was stood there like, wow, and Joshua went and jogged around the ring because his legs legs were like jelly and he was trying to get his legs back. Fowler concluded, and everyone was going, wait. Joshua wanted to carry on, but Rob McCracken was like, have a little break, get your legs back to normal and then spar. And then they continued sparring. He didn't knock him out. He didn't hit the floor, but he was really hurt. Dubois probably could have hit him again and knocked him out, but he chose not to out of respect. However, in response to these claims, AJ's promoter Eddie Hearn said that sparring is sparring, and it has nothing to do with what goes on in a real boxing fight.
Just away from this, I want to get your thoughts on Anthony Fowler's comments on TalkSport about Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois' sparring experience, where AJ seemed to rock Daniel according to Anthony. What do you make of that?
AJ rocked Daniel.
No, Daniel rocked AJ and he could have gone in for...
I don't know, look, sparring. What was this, like 8 years ago? Yeah, whatever. Like, I think AJ probably wasn't quite taking the sport as seriously as he is now. And Daniel can punch. I've heard multiple different stories about that. One including that AJ was stretchered out of the ring. That was the original rumour. Then Anthony said, I think about a couple of weeks ago, that he was just wobbled. I mean, the fact is, he carried on the spar. Like, if you get hurt in sparring, you don't carry on the spar. The spar carried on. Dubois is a huge puncher. AJ's a huge puncher. You're going to get hurt.
Frank Warren also said that the fight is what matters and is backing his man to get the better of Joshua within the 12 rounds. He stated, what matters is Saturday night when they both step into the ring. He's the young man, 26 years of age, and he's going in with a guy who has impeccable credentials in AJ, a two-time world champion who is going for his third crack of gaining it. I doubt it will be a draw because I don't think it will go the distance. Whoever goes on the back foot in this fight is not going to win it. The guy winning it is the one who pushes the other back, and I believe Daniel is the guy to do that. Despite entering the fight on the back of a brilliant win over Filip Hrgović, Dubois is widely seen as a significant underdog. Considering his losses to Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk, it will not be a long night for Dubois. According to AJ's last opponent, Otto Wallin, Wallin said if Dubois enters the fight aggressively, like he did against Filip Hrgović in his previous bout, the fight won't end well for him. However, he also stated that Dubois will have a chance if he entered the game defensively.
I think that if Dubois comes out like he did in his last fight, got hit with a lot of shots from Hrgović. If he does the same with Joshua, I think it's going to be an early night. I think that Joshua is going to win within the first 5 or 6 rounds, if that happens. But if Dubois comes out with a little better defense and can hit Joshua with a few good shots, maybe make him doubt himself, then I think it could turn into a good fight. But it all depends if we all seen Joshua's power with Ngannou, so if he hits Dubois with those kind of shots and keeps hitting him, then it's going to be an early night. But I think that Dubois is a good fighter, so if he can come out and land a few shots himself, then it could turn into a good fight.
Paulie Malignaggi believes Anthony Joshua will endure some tough moments against Daniel Dubois, but he will do enough to win. He stated, I lean towards AJ. He's got the experience and is fighting his best boxing right now, but it's a good fight. I could see AJ getting hurt or even going down and getting up to win, possibly. It's a fight, man. I don't think it lasts long, maybe 5 or 6 rounds. Dubois will show his worth, but I don't think he'll win. Joshua can defeat anyone, according to heavyweight contender Jerry Forrest. Joshua, despite his many titles, is a humble man who is always willing to learn something new, according to him. Jerry is confident Joshua will win if he continues to improve in this manner.
I got my money on Joshua versus anybody. Besides myself, I believe Joshua can beat anybody. He's the truth. He wants to get better. He's very receptive. He listens. He's a good guy. Even when I come into the gym, I'm not a world champion. He had all the titles. He's listening to me in the sense of, let's take the advice, so he's a humble guy that actually wants to get better in the sport. So if he keeps progressing, man, this guy may be around until he's 40 years old.
Zhili Zhang believes Dubois can get the job done. Zhang said, I personally favor Daniel Dubois to pull this off because he is on the surge. He is hungry, he is young, and he has the fire in him. He had a beautiful knockout victory over Filip Hrgović last time, so I really have my faith in the underdog. We are literally 3 weeks away, and I believe he will shock the world. Malik Scott is backing Anthony Joshua to become a 3-time heavyweight champion when he faces Daniel Dubois next week. Scott, the trainer of former world champion Deontay Wilder, has looked at the fighters in great detail and and he's insistent that Joshua can emerge victorious. He stated, "Joshua has a solid base, good boxing skills, and a great coach in Ben Davison. He's highly motivated and dangerous right now. I do think Dubois is trouble with that defense, but Dubois has surprised me lately, especially when he weathered the storms against Filip Hrgović and Jarrell Miller. But Joshua is just different. If I were a betting man, I'd put my money on Joshua stopping him between rounds 4 and 7. Even if all the pros believe Joshua has more expertise, Daniel could easily defeat any heavyweight in the world right now, according to trainer Shane McGuigan. Daniel, in his opinion, possesses the quickness and agility necessary to win."
You know, Daniel has always had that ability. When I was working with him, unbelievable ability, like great balance, great punch power. Can throw any shot in the book. Most heavyweights can't really do that. They're stuck on like the jab and the right hand. He could throw uppercuts, hooks. He could throw them with speed. He lacked a little bit of intensity, lacked a lot of belief. But I feel like the last couple of fights have really brought that out of him. You know, that confidence. He's still a young heavyweight, and he's got the ability to knock any heavyweight out.
In 2014, Dorian Darch lost by TKO in the second round to AJ, and 3 years later, he met the same end against Dubois in the same round. Considering that he faced both, Dorian discussed his thoughts on the impending fight. He stated, "In all fairness to Dubois, since the Joyce fight, he's got a lot tougher. I think he more or less gave up in that fight, but Hrgović caught him with loads of right hands and he kept fighting. But you can't take that many right hands against Joshua, he'll put you to sleep." He also compared the power of the two boxers, saying, "AJ's got one punch knockout power, and Dubois, when he hit me, I've seen him knock out other boys out. He was hitting me down, but they weren't concussive punches, they were just bowling me over. Whereas AJ hit me in the temple, I lost my sense, my legs were gone." Duke McKenzie believes Daniel Dubois will upset Anthony Joshua as they square off in the ring this month. McKenzie, who has won 3 world titles in different weight classes, believes Dubois will stay the champion because of what he has seen in him. He stated, "I don't know if he's the people's favorite, and I don't know if he's the bookie's favorite, and I don't gamble. But if I did right now, and I had to pick one person to win this particular fight, I'm slightly leaning towards Dubois." The same goes for Maxie Hughes, who thinks Daniel Dubois can upset Anthony Joshua dramatically. Although Hughes, the former IBO champion, is adamant that he can win, Joshua represents a huge step up for Dubois. "I'm going with the unpopular decision of backing Dubois. I've seen a lot of the interviews of other heavyweights talking about sparring them both and saying how hard Dubois is," said Hughes when speaking to Seconds Out. "He's gaining experience and coming off a very good win against Filip Hrgović, so he'll be confident, and obviously Joshua will be confident coming off his win. I just feel like when Joshua does get hit, he can sometimes fall to pieces." Prince Nassim will be in attendance for this fight. Knowing the importance of this fight for UK's boxing scene and being one of the greats coming from this area of the world, Prince Nassim gave his prediction for the match.
Just that AJ Dubois prediction, Naz, who wins?
The AJ, you know what? I think AJ wins, to be honest, by KO.
Naz, thank you very much.
Ricky Hatton expects Anthony Joshua to become a 3-time heavyweight world champion later this month. He stated, "I can only see Anthony Joshua winning. A lot of people will turn around and say it's an obvious statement, and we can all say as Joshua lands a punch on your chin, then he'll knock you out, but because he's happy now. Not like when he fought Usyk and didn't look in a good place mentally when he lost the fight. He's with Ben Davison and is a very good thinking coach, a good tactician, and in his last few fights, he's known for being a heavy puncher, but he's added more fluency to his movement and his combinations of what he is letting go." Tony Bellew was less bullish about Dubois' prospects against Joshua, explaining why he believes Joshua will win in 2 rounds. He stated, "Daniel must think I don't like him. I think he's a lovely kid and I think he's a vastly improved fighter. The only thing is that everything he's good at, Anthony Joshua is better. I'll be amazed if it gets to round 3. I'll be shocked if it gets past 3 rounds, but if it does go past 3, then Daniel's durability, endurance, and fitness will really test Joshua. Make no mistake, Anthony Joshua is a better athlete, a better boxer, all that. In every department, he's a little bit better." Fabio Wardley is confident AJ will prevail when he takes on Daniel Dubois. In the event that Joshua prevails, he will become the heavyweight champion 3 times, and Wardley, one of the most talented contenders in the division, is sure Joshua can win. "I think AJ wins and I think AJ will stop him," said Wardley when speaking to Seconds Out. "When? Who knows, but I think he's big. He's strong. Not to say Daniel isn't at all, but I just think AJ's slightly sharper. Been in the game a little bit longer, bit more used to the big stage." Carl Fromtom claimed that this fight is going to be brutal because he believes that someone will get knocked out on the fight night. Given his greater experience over Dubois, AJ is the more popular and beloved candidate according to Frampton. However, he also stated that he won't be shocked if Dubois gets his hand risen in opposition to AJ.
Coming through the adversity that he came through in his last 2 fights probably gives him more of a chance. I think that certainly AJ's the favourite. They're heavyweights, and Dubois is brave. And what I can guarantee is someone gets knocked out. And I think someone probably gets knocked out in the first 6 rounds, if I'm being honest. You have to favour AJ, but wouldn't surprise me if Dubois does it. Just they're big men, big athletic men.
Although Barry McGuigan wouldn't rule out Daniel, he insisted that Joshua would probably be too much for the 26-year-old. He feels that Daniel can knock out anyone, but Joshua is the clear favorite and a great boxer. He brought up Daniel's previous battle with Hrgović, in which he struggled to hold his own against Hrgović, but took advantage of the one chance he had and won. Daniel has the capacity to win, thus in his opinion, Joshua should give him a chance. He stated, "The thing about Dubois is that Dubois can punch so hard that it only takes a split second. Having said that, Joshua is the favorite, but you have got to give Dubois a chance with anybody. He was losing to Hrgović. Hrgović was beating him comprehensively, and then that cut happened and it was all over. But he has got a tremendous punch, and you have got to give him a chance with anybody. Again, I make Joshua the favorite. Joshua is the more complete fighter. He is better all round, he can box and fight, so I definitely think that Joshua will be too much for him. He, Dubois, has got a puncher's chance." Okoli went on to discuss 2 pivotal events in Dubois' career, his stoppage loss to Joe Joyce and his exciting yet unpredictable victory over Kevin Lerena. Dubois dropped 3 times in the opening round of the Lerena battle before finally winning. He took a knee in the Joyce fight after breaking an eye socket. He stated, "We've seen it happen a few times with Dan. In the Joe Joyce fight and the Kevin Lerena fight, there were moments where you could spot a weakness in his armor. Despite all his strength and power, if you stay consistent, I think you can get the job done. And AJ, out of all the heavyweights, is known for his consistency. That's why I'm leaning towards him." Oleksandr Usyk freely admits he doesn't like making predictions. However, the unified world heavyweight champion has gone away from usual habit of keeping his cards close to his chest to share his views on the upcoming showdown between Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois. Usyk explained to the Daily Mail in a recent interview why he is backing Joshua to get the job done and become a 3-time heavyweight champion. Usyk declared, Joshua has improved a lot psychologically. Of course I believe he will defeat Daniel Dubois. I hate predictions, but it is an Olympic champion against a UK champion. Anthony is a different level." Amir Khan said that he is very excited for this fight. He thinks that people are underestimating Dubois, who could very much upset everyone on the fight night. Amir said, "I'm going to the fight, and I don't want to miss it because it's a good fight, a good matchup, and is an evenly matched fight. Both are powerful, strong, and you would say Anthony Joshua has the most experience. A lot of people will be favoring him, but don't blink. Don't think Daniel Dubois doesn't have the skill, power, and speed to win that fight. Look, Dubois is a very dangerous fighter, and he has put on a great fight in his last couple of fights. I feel that he's got a chance of winning this fight. Anthony Joshua has looked good in his last few fights, but I feel that Dubois has a good chance because he wants to be where Joshua is." Amir further said, "It's a really hard fight. It's who lands first. I think if Joshua lands with a good shot, he's got the attributes to finish Dubois. Both fighters have the power, speed, and everything to win the fight, but if Joshua boxes the way he won the last fight against Otto Wallin, which really impressed me, and it was punch perfect, that's what he needs to do. Stick to his boxing, sticks to his skills, hits and move. Then I think that'll be the best Joshua and he can get the win that way. But if he gets into a brawl, this is where Dubois can start, because he is a solid guy and hasn't been tested in that sense where he has been hurt." According to Adam Morley, Dubois ought to be more resilient and powerful if he is able to raise his hands in the fight against AJ. He said that the youth could also play a huge role on the fight night.
And in order to win the fight, he's got to be around and alive and strong from round like 9, 10 onwards. And I think his superior youth may play its part at that point.
Gerald Miller is fully aware of the quality possessed by Daniel Dubois after suffering a stoppage loss to the Brit last year. He said, "Dubois clearly has a better chin than AJ. I feel like it's going to come down to attrition and who's going to have the better game plan. I'm rooting for Dubois in this one." So what are your thoughts about this fight? Who do you think will come on top? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.